First off, we're just going to start with everybody's favorite people, the top of the victim pyramid, the Looney Tunes.
Here's the thing. When we hang on before we get into this.
Okay.
All right. Correct me if I'm wrong. But if you think you're Napoleon and you're not, what is that called?
Oh, think you're a Napoleon and you're not?
Yeah, it's a delusion.
It's a delusion, yeah.
If you think you're a werewolf and you're not, what is that?
Delusion.
If you think you're a cat and you should shit in a litter box at school, that is a delusion.
It's just disgusting.
And disgusting. But somehow they've done the mental gymnastics and rewrote the book about mental illnesses where this trans thing is no longer considered Abby normal.
Well, the reason why it's no longer considered Abby normal is because they make Abby normally sized profits.
Yes.
Off of these narcissistic leftoids who want to essentially mutilate their own children to make themselves look important on social media. That is the part and parcel. That is most of it.
That's Munchausen.
Actually, I would say that it's a sizable portion of it. The other sizable portion of it is people who are just mediocre. They know they're mediocre and they're fucking perverts and they want a reason to be able to walk out into the world and call anyone who isn't attracted to them or doesn't want to put up with their bullshit a bigot.
Correct.
And then you have the very, very smallest section who are people who genuinely have gender dysphoria, and my heart goes out to you because you didn't ask for that shit. Mm-hmm. And in all likelihood, you didn't have a father at home, and that's where most of this stuff comes from.
Listen, I'm not sitting... I would like to see these people get the therapy or the healing or whatever they need.
The proper help.
To get back on the right track.
There's a shirt for you. Help, not hormones.
Yeah.
How's that?
Yeah, somebody put that graphic together and send to us. We'll sell it on the merch store.
I actually came up with a really cool idea for a shirt. I'm going to talk with a graphic guy about it because I want it to look like a Pringles can, but it's going to have your face, and instead of the mustache, it's going to be two turds, and it'll say Kringles, and then next as it comes out, it'll say "I am Pop's smirking revenge."
Now, like the trans thing,
or once you plop the fun.
The minute you criticize their logic, they fall back on, you're killing us, you hate us.
Yep. Like no, you're literally murdering people's legacies by preying on these Transhausen by proxy mothers.
But here's the thing, though, is that worked in the beginning because people are like, oh, I don't want to be accused of that. The blame and the shame and the guilt, I don't want any of that.
But then the Troons picked up rifles and started marching into elementary schools.
Yes.
Now who's genociding?
And they're grooming kids. Or they were grooming kids on military bases.
Yep.
In libraries and schools.
And it was only events where children were present. You notice they never went to nursing homes. You know, people who like that they have arthritis so fucking bad they haven't picked up a book in years. People have to read to them. Nah, never mind. No big deal.
And here's another thing Hegseth needs to do is find out all of the officers who signed off on that lunacy.
Oh, yeah.
And fucking punch their ticket to Fort Couch.
I can't wait for Millie to get demoted.
Yeah, he needs to get court-martialed.
Yep. And this person here needs some copium. This person is blaming Trump because a new passport came in the mail with the correct biological sex marked.
All right.
Just got a brand new passport.
In case you're wondering what it's like being transgender under this new administration, I just got my new passport in the mail and they changed the gender to male because of Donald Trump.
I'm pretty sure that was in processing for quite a while. And I mean, I don't remember exactly how long it takes for you to, right to get a passport, but I'm pretty sure.
Well, first of all,
that they probably just assessed the situation accurately.
I applied for a civilian passport in 2014, 15.
Yeah.
And they spelled my last name wrong.
People are always spelling your name wrong, bro.
It's two P's, second P silent. If you say both,
not even the first name, the last name. I mean, the autocorrect always calls you Terrence Poop.
Yeah, I know.
So
that's fine.
There's that.
I've been called that forever.
I just love the wah wah cry baby, give me attention. Yeah.
In case y'all want proof, there's my picture. Very cunty. And yeah, there's a big ugly M. Yay.
All right, here we go.
Yay! And of course, this person is local, place of birth, Michigan. Yeah.
So you want to play pretend, and you're trying to force everyone else to play pretend with you.
I'm not going to do that.
All right, now listen, you want to dress up and take hormones to look like a woman and or whatever you want to do on your own dime and time. That's your own goddamn business.
Yeah.
But passports are paid for with taxpayer dollars. They pay the salaries of everyone that does that. Yes, there's a fee you have to pay to get it done.
Yep.
But the people who are making all that happen are paid with taxpayer dollars, meaning they should follow, what is that? Logic, reason, and math.
And real science, not soyance.
Yes.
Real science.
And if you can't take that, well, go move to another country where that's totally accepted. And wait a minute, that doesn't exist.
Yeah, pretty much. Instead, we have to live in this country where all you have to do to be called a Nazi is, say that you want people out of the concentration camp. Because I've been told that this is a systemically racist piece of shit country, right? It's fucking terrible. It needs to be burned down and rebuilt from the bottom up. We're trying to send them by.
Now, granted, we did conquer this country.
Yeah. Well,
but
I know.
We've been conquering countries as a race for, I don't know, ever.
Yeah.
It is what it is. We're evil, hairless monkeys.
Yeah.
And all we do is spend an insane amount of money and come up with new ways to be creative so we can, I don't know, kill each other en masse.
We have reached peak decadence when people who have never known a harsh day in their lives, you can leave that on, brother. It's not going to show up on here.
Oh, okay.
It's cold in here.
Oh, you're cold? Well, we're up at the death hole.
My hands are like little icicles.
Well, you're by the death hole.
I am by the death hole window. Yes, you're absolutely correct.
Sorry.
I don't know. The modern leftoids they blow my mind with their level of cognitive disconnect. You're a Nazi! You are the ones who were calling the police on your neighbors for having small get-togethers 5 years ago. You were the ones who wanted concentration camps for the unvaccinated. You don't get to call anyone a fucking Nazi ever!
Also, you forgot. If you didn't take the jab, you shouldn't get medical insurance or have the taxpayers pay for
Absolutely, yeah. And you shouldn't be allowed to hold a job.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they said all this shit, but we're the Nazis.
Oh, dude.
And this next one here is in direct response to the Troons, and it doesn't come from me. If you want to know where it comes from a lesbian who has had enough.
Scissor kicker?
It's in response to this particular tweet. So there's like two responses here. So you got Cadence, who said this just passed through the Idaho State House 46-24. House Resolution HJM001 by State Affairs Committee. Marriage states findings of the legislature and calls upon the Supreme Court of the United States to reverse the decision of Obergefell v. Hodges and restore the natural definition of marriage, a union of one man and one woman. The pissed off lawyer, who's totally not a social justice warrior, says, I wonder how those LGB minus the T fascist bootlickers feel about this. Wham. Well, she's happy to tell you.
Here we go.
This comes to us from Diana Alistair. We think you've gone and fucked us all over because you couldn't settle for being treated like everyone else, that's how. No, you had to be the center of attention and to validate your own delusions by sterilizing and mutilating other people's kids and removing them from their homes. You also destroyed women's safe spaces, ruined women's sports, got women rapade and Murray-Darred, and gave the schools the power to lie to parents about the physical safety of their own children. Now the backlash is coming, and instead of apologizing for dragging all of us down with you, because that is absolutely what you are doing, you are desperately and despicably trying to pin the blame on gays and lesbians who have never wanted anything more than to be tolerated and left the fuck alone to live our lives.
Yeah.
Your inappropriate, entitled, and predatory behavior has provoked such overwhelming and credulous disgust that people who didn't mind gays or even trans people a decade ago now can't wait to shove us all back in the closet and lock the door forever. And who can blame them? You've done an excellent job of ruining the reputation of the entire LGBTQWTF community and of destroying every last bit of the progress that took decades of careful, deliberate inoffensiveness and respect for the boundaries and values of the rest of society to achieve. Thank you so much. We spent 50 years trying to show straight people that we aren't just a bunch of degenerate freaks who can't wait to convert their children, that we don't want to tear up the social fabric or spit on their values. And what do? You march down streets chanting, "We're coming for your children." You force your way into women's spaces in order to sexually exploit both the spaces and their female occupants. You convince millions of children that they're born in the wrong body and need hormones and surgery in order to be themselves, not because you care about their well-being, of course, but because you think that the existence of so-called trans kids validates the claims of trans pretending adults. You demand that all of society change its definitions of man and woman, male and female, sex and gender, boy and girl. You insist that everyone cater to you, lie to and for you, and put you on a pedestal as the sacred victim cast. You demand the perversion of science. You threaten and even attack women at their own events. You urge violence against women at yours, and you commit all manner of perverse, deviant, and unbelievably disgusting sexual acts in women's spaces, which you film and then upload to the internet so that the whole world can see how incredibly fucking sick you are.
God damn!
In short, you have come along and bring every fear and every homophobic stereotype they've ever believed to loud, demanding, rainbow-colored life. You separated mentally unstable children from their parents, preventing them from getting real therapy, and some of those children died. How the fuck did you think people were going to react to that? And now you don't even have the decency to admit what you've done. Instead, you're trying to pin this on the people who spent the last decade doing everything we could to undo the damage you have caused and to stave off the catastrophic results of your unhinged, entitled, predatory actions. If we do get through the next 4 years without losing the right to marry or, hell, the right to be openly gay, it will be entirely due to the people you deride as fascist bootlickers, the same people who got you your rights in the first place, you ungrateful, greedy gang of petulant children, and their unceasing efforts to mitigate the cataclysm that you have unleashed upon us all with your insanely selfish behavior. And this is directed at the pissed off lawyer specifically. Oh, yeah, and stop claiming to be Romani. You ridiculous, hysterical, culturally appropriative, pathological liar. We've had this discussion, and I've got the receipts. You're about as much of a Romani as you are a man. Fuck off.
Wow! Oh my God, that's a fucking beatdown and a half.
I couldn't say it any better.
Holy shit.
So, yeah, if y'all have a Twitter or Twatter or
Right.
X account and you want to give Sappho Lives 83, Diana Alistair, a quick follow, let her know that redonkulous.com gives her a thumbs up for that one.
All right, let's just be honest here. If Trump had lost this election and they continued this craziness for another 4 years, all right, there wouldn't be people passing laws or anything. It would turn to violence.
Yep.
Because you're going to come get the wrong kid for some, because he's not being recognized as trans.
Mm-hmm.
And then that guy's going to get violent, or maybe the mother will get violent. You never know. And then when there's enough pressure and enough people pissed off, somebody's going to knock over that first domino and boom.
Yep.
It is going to go nuts. Because listen, before we feminized all the men we have here in the United States, you didn't dare fuck with somebody's kids.
Yep.
You didn't dare do that because if you did, you're probably not going to be around.
Mm-hmm.
That is like the no But somehow we've, I don't know, all the scientists out there have want to kill masculinity and say it's toxic and blame, shame, and guilt you for being a man because they want to manipulate you. They want you to be a soft, pliable, disposable implement.
Yep. And ironically, all of this comes from the hashtag resist crowd that can't wait to deep throat big corporate cock.
I know.
It's hilarious. And that's the thing that I noticed the most during RFK Jr.'s confirmation hearing, is that there was so much cock chugging going on, so much big pharma cock shoved so far down these senators' throats. I'm amazed they were able to speak in anything other than vowels.
Yeah.
It's quite amazing.
The all vowel opera hour.
You ain't kidding.
Watch Grunt Speak live every Tuesday and Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And if you want to join Pop for Supporter Sundays, go to redonkulous.com/donate and make a monthly pledge. A link is in the Meat Gazer box.